So just a little bit about my background too, just so you always want to have a reference when you're listening to, because my is going to come from my background. So I started off engaged in a lot of violent activities, right? So I was attracted to combat sports when I was young, and wrestled from the time I was 5 years old, and got into boxing when I was a little bit older. What I'm going to talk about in the first part of this talk is thinking critically about conflict. And I say conflict because I want to open it up to different types of struggle, things that people might not say are violent, but it's just a conflict, right? So one side is fighting against another in some way, shape, or form for an outcome, a goal. And people, when you say violence, people have an idea of what you're talking about, right? But conflict is a broader term. We're all pretty familiar with society, how society has been progressing, but it's really always been violent. This whole thing of like, hey, we're more violent now than we used to, I don't know, maybe in different ways, but we're pretty violent from the very beginning. There's a lot of riots nowadays, stuff like that, different groups that are publicly doing mass violence and destruction. That's stuff to be concerned about. And some people are looking at dealing with masses and groups, mobs, if you will, and the type of dynamics that you have in that type of environment. They are specific and they need to be understood, but there are universals to them as well as any other type of violence. So what are the universals? What are the things that are found in all of these? And I want to start there. That's actually the beginning. The beginning is the universal. So we talk about three core elements to conflict. And the first one is force. As we go down the list here, space and time, and that's it. Universals, when you start talking about universals, you're not going to talk about thousands of things, right? In one topic, the universals get boiled down, and it will be a handful of things. And there'll be an elemental aspect to each one. Elemental means I can't break it down any further than this, and it be something different than that. And what I'm planning to do in my strategy, utilizing force, space, and time, or either suppressing my opponent's ability to do that, the opposite force, the ability to do that, or developing my ability to do any one of these things to a greater extent. And that's where everything lies. These are the universal elements of conflict. Space, what do we mean by that? Well, my ability to move freely, my ability to control an area, to control a perimeter, to control space, or move through space, or limit my opposition to do that. How do I confine them? How do I channelize them? How do I put them into choke points? So mobility, access, and range will be, describing space. For a fight to last more than 5 or 6 seconds would be super long fight. Like something went wrong, real wrong, because from the get-go, I want to land some lightning bolts on this guy's jaw. And in the time that he is affected, I'm going to fucking land everything I can. And I'm going to smash him until he's horizontal. If you follow up and you're using force, space, and time and hit in that time that you buy from an effective strike or effective attack of any sort, if you can capitalize on that time that you've earned, you can just pound him into the ground like a nail. Each element allows for exploitation of another, right? So I may have a force component that I control. I may be able to gain space through the use of this force. I may be able to control time because of a use of this force. Like how does that work? Well, if I have guns that will shoot that other group from 1,000 yards away, and they're going to approach my castle, and their guns shoot from 500 yards away, I'll engage them before they engage me. right? So my force was one that allowed me to start this fight before they can start the fight effectively. The other thing that we must do is hone the weapon. The weapon is you, right? The weapon is your mind and everything that it can control. But what we want to do is we want to increase personal readiness, and you'll see that readiness here is in all caps, right? So kind of a term that people use a lot, and they, have vague ideas, but let's define it. Just very similar to force, space, and time, we're going to look at the universals of readiness. What does it mean to be ready? How many times have you heard someone say, yeah, I was born ready? No, you weren't. That's bullshit. You weren't born ready. You were a baby and you were shitting your pants. So, the bravado is not something I need. I don't need bravado. What I need is intelligence, education, clear thinking, logic. That's what I want.
Boom, it's finally here. Go to protectornation.com to join the Protector Nation community. Learn online and become part of our Protector Nation family. I look forward to seeing you guys there and for us all to join forces to make the world a safer place by helping good people to become more dangerous. I'll see you there, and until then, be peaceful but not harmless.